Hello, all. I hope you've had a good day. I have had a good day. It was an interesting day, to say the least, but it was a good day. In my meeting today, the owner of the company mentioned pickle. I love it. I immediately cracked up. Immediately, if not sooner. I was like, yes, he understood the assignment. It was freaking fantastic. I absolutely, I am so blessed. I really, truly am. I'm blessed. I'm blessed for the jobs that I work at. I'm blessed for the people that I come in contact with, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the unfavorable circumstances, the unfavorable illusions, the unfavorable tactics. Like, I'm blessed for all of them. I really am, because I take away something from all of them, and I just appreciate people and I appreciate what I can learn and gain from them. And I take it for what it is. I just do. I was talking to my coworker this afternoon, and I got really teary eyed. It's probably the reason why I left early, because I could tell that I was getting kind of emotional, and so I left early because, like I was telling him, it's really hard for me sometimes to go down my timeline in the last couple years. Because I've now come to realize that there is a big reason why God just helps me not remember certain things in reference to like nights and days and just hardships and obstacles in the last decade of my life. And just because with the mind frame and the vision and the intuitiveness that I have now, if I went back to myself, said when I was married to my ex-husband, I would have picked up a trillion different things. You know what I mean? Me, who I am now, going through my divorce, I would have handled that completely differently. I can tell you that. I wouldn't have gotten raped, and I wouldn't have put myself in a position for things to get forged. So there's that venture. But so there's just so many different things. And so I was talking to my coworker, and I was just talking to him like, man, I said, seriously, I can't even put into words. I said, I really can't even tell you how I am still here today outside of God. Like, I don't even know. Like, things that I have made it through, things that I know, and just, I really don't. And it's so hard for me to put into words. It really, really is. I tried very hard so I can push it out. And it's not me trying to live in reference to, what are all these posts I'm seeing in reference to living in the reality of being attacked and this and that? Like, no, I beg to differ. That's healing out loud, and that's advocating, and that's being true. Being your truly authentic self. So take that, spin it, and run it. And so it came to me 3:33 as I say that exactly. There's something that came to me that I really want to talk about, because there is a big, big skewedness between humility and humbleness, and the difference between the two. And there's lack thereof. And I get so tired of seeing people that say they're chosen, or they're a part of the chosen community, whichever that is, and they do not walk with humility, and they do not walk with humbleness. And it's like, first of all, if you're a part of the chosen community, because God, I guess, now started choosing communities, I don't know. But if you're a part of said whatever, right, then you would think that it goes without a doubt, you would know what humility and humbleness is and the difference between the two. And for some reason, there's a lot of lack thereof. And so I wanted to break it down. There's a difference between being humble and having humility. When you understand it, it changes how you move. It changes how you move. It changes how you operate. It changes how you think. All right. Humility, the inner posture. Humility runs on the inside of you. The inside of you. All right. Starts within. Within. within your heart and your mind, your body and your soul, Christ conscience, the Holy Spirit. That's where the humility is, right? It's the heart awareness that we are all learning and growing. So your heart is aware that everybody is all learning and growing to the capabilities of their speed and the circumstances they're in and the choices they're provided. All right? Because everybody has different ones. All right, so we recognize that. Recognizes we are not above or below anyone. We are all in the process. Exactly. Flows from gratitude and connection to something higher than ourselves, meaning you're always grateful for everything because you know everything is moving for your greater good based off our higher selves. Our higher selves meaning operating with God, the Holy Spirit, the divine source, right? Moving in gratitude is numero uno. You always have to be thankful for everything. Always allows correction, reflection, and surrender. You do not need to announce humility. It is felt, not performed. And that's one thing about me. I think people would probably venture to say, I'm not performative. I am felt. You come in my energy, you're going to feel it. I'm not performative. Nothing about me is performative. I couldn't even be performative if I tried. I fail at it constantly. True humility says, I'm grateful for what I have and I still have more to learn. We always have more to learn. Every single one of us. Humbleness. How humility shows up in action. Tone, words, and treatment of others. Speaks softly but carries strong integrity. Doesn't need spotlight to feel valuable. Doesn't need spotlight to feel valuable, meaning doesn't need to pour out everything that you have or don't have. Like, you don't need spotlight. You don't need to say XYZ. You just do it. You just do it. You just do it, and it shows itself. You don't need spotlight. When you call out things like that, you're just calling out spotlight. Celebrates others' wins without envy and comparison. There's lack thereof of that. My gosh. Leads with kindness and empathy and quiet strength. Quiet strength. You know, strength doesn't need to be like, oh, this is me, hear me roar. You lead with quiet strength. True humbleness doesn't shrink. It serves. Serves. And you serve by the graciousness of you, not for what you can gain. You know? The true difference, humility is not the root, humbleness is the fruit. You can act humble without being humble inside. There's a performance, not a posture. Real humility naturally produces humbleness. You can't fake it for long. You cannot fake it for long. And I'm seeing a lot of people that were faking humility and humbleness. I'm picking up on it immediately. And it sucks. It sucks to see. It really freaking does. The goal isn't to think less of yourself. It's to think of yourself less often. How about that? Let me read that again for those in the back that didn't get that message. The goal isn't to think less of yourself. It's to think less of yourself often. So often enough, we think of ourselves, and I do too. I think of myself in reference to affirmations and telling myself to stay strong, keep it going, Amanda. You got this, things and that. But I am not thinking of myself because I want to put myself above others, or I want to have a bag bigger than others, or I want this, or I want that. None of that. None of that. Ever. I couldn't even if I tried. I couldn't even if I freaking tried. Move with gratitude, shine with grace, and stay teachable no matter how high you rise. Do you think God's going to take you to the top acting like that? No, He's not. Especially when you say you're chosen and then you're doing that kind of nonsense. No, ma'am. No, sir. I'm sorry. Big no. That's why it's really, really important for you not to use words as if you're God. Because then you're just taking on His role, and then you really put yourself in a predicament. You've really put yourself in a predicament because now you're playing His role and using His words as if you're God. And you don't want to do that. That's not your job. Your job is to move always with the thought of others and self-serving to others while thinking of yourself as well, but always thinking of those around you. Always. I love you guys. I hope you